Hello, welcome in everybody. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot, and this is going to be the weekend vibes for the collective. So we have a Capricorn full moon. This is the second Capricorn full moon this Cancer season. It's going to be at 29 degrees. And so what are you committing to? What are you really choosing to commit to? What really matters, I think, because this is the energy basically of now or never. And so this is a Saturnian ruled full moon. And so right now I feel the energy is just calling us to understand that these powerful shifts coming up are to show us where we have been misled, where we have been misguided. And it's like the maximum accumulated experiences of all of our life are kind of reaching some type of completion. And so I also feel this is deeply connected to closing out the Pluto and Capricorn era that we went through over the last 15 years or so. And so what do you know truly inside out and backwards that is your truth? Because something I feel is reaching culmination. And I do feel with this full moon conjunct Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, it's also engaged in two other aspects, a sextile with Neptune at 29 degrees in Pisces and a trine to Mars at 0 degrees in Gemini. Basically, we are at the culmination of a major cycle, which will be followed by a new beginning. And so with all endings do come new beginnings. What are you going to choose to commit to? So before we go any further, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, share the video. It helps to circulate the content. It's a nice, free, easy way to show me some love and show me some support. But let's talk about this lunation and the messages that came through for me in meditation. And it's been a hot minute. I've not been working in the last couple of weeks. I was on vacation. I had some pretty profound experiences on my adventure in the UK. I traveled to London, England, and I'm home, and I had some very pivotal experiences while I was over there. I got to experience the Westminster Abbey. I went to Glastonbury Abbey, and I also was able to connect to the Grand Lodge Freemasonry energy and the museum at the Freemason Lodge. And so some pretty profound messages and experiences came through for me. And so right now I think we kind of know what to expect. Been there, done that kind of energy connected to the Capricornian themes. And so what is it that you need to focus on? Because I think you already know the answer to that, especially connected to the houses that these energies are deeply affecting. And so we are being asked to fully commit to the path. It's either all in or all out. I've always been an all in kind of girl. It's like all in or all out. And so when we find that 100% commitment to our path, to our life, to ourself, then I just feel we kind of know that something miraculous is about to happen in our lives. And usually we get tested the most right before a major breakthrough. And so I went on this journey. It was a very sacred passageway for me personally to close out these issues that I've struggled with in my love life, with father wounds, with masculines hurting me time and time again on my journey of seeking love externally. And so I went through a breakthrough of everything that I kind of needed was within me. And so I know when we go through these breakthroughs, when it comes to shifting our creative drive, our creative focus, miracles can kind of change our lives, right? So I want to ask you, what is it that you are committed to? What is the concept of commitment for you? Where is it that you need to address a toxic pattern that needs to be broken free from, connected to the Cancer Capricorn opposition? The model of Capricorn, which is Saturn ruled, Saturn driven, traditionally driven, is basically in opposition with the Cancer energy, which is the mother energy. And so with the Aquarian energy at play, it's kind of ruled by Uranus, which is all about change, breakthroughs and change and embracing changes. And so I feel like I've had to rewrite my story many times over on my journey. And I feel this is not only a significant period of time for myself, but collectively. And so we're talking about something serious here, a serious commitment. Maybe it's fatherhood, maybe it's love, maybe it's marriage, maybe it's just commitment to yourself. But the energy wants us to be 100% all in. And I do feel this is about commitment to self, commitment to purpose. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't be half in. You can't be 99% in. You can't even be 99.9% in. You got to be 100% all in. When we fall in love, it's 100% all in, right? Failure is not an option. And so when we choose to be 100% committed, that is when things can truly change. And so I feel right now the universe is conspiring to help us achieve all of our goals and aspirations. So where do you need to look back? Where do you need to look back at what this Pluto and Capricorn cycle has brought forward for you for lessons, maybe over the last 15 to 19 years? When we look at how we are connected to kind of everything in the universe, through our family, through our lineage, through the people that we meet, there's really no denying the interconnectedness of all of us. And so I have to admit, I've made some pretty phenomenal connections on the way, along the way, on the way to wherever it is I'm going. And I think the future is still a little bit unwritten, but we do have to choose to commit to a path. We have to make a choice, because not choosing is also a choice. And I feel the universe is saying we can no longer be passive when it comes to our purpose. So I think there's times in life where we go through the coming apart, the coming undone, so we can learn to commit to ourselves. And maybe you've tried to commit to yourself many times over. Maybe you weren't fully ready. And this might also be a commitment to self, where you're struggling with the opposition of the past, with the South Node, and the future of the North Node of where you're being asked to step towards. And so sometimes we can't commit to certain things because it just wasn't right for us, or maybe it was bad timing, or for various reasons the universe kind of pulls you away from something that maybe is your fated destiny, because you have other lessons to learn along the way. But I feel this full moon is going to be like a beautiful opportunity. I think there's a lot of supportive energies coming through, asking us to find our highest potential and to deliver that to the world. What do you have to deliver to the world when it comes to your creative ambition? Because, you know, the spiritual awakening journey, the path of divine leadership, the path of being a visionary leader is not for the faint of heart. You definitely have to give it your all. And so I do feel the energies are intense. The energies are triggering all of these underlying blocks that need to come to the surface, that is a requirement as part of this internal transformation from the inside out. And so how can you be invited into embracing a new perspective into your lives? That's the Aquarian energy. And I'm a 12th house Aquarius, and I got quite a bit of energy sitting in my 12th house right now, which is the house of karma, which is the house of burying the past. And so I've changed. That's the one thing I can say for sure, is I have completely changed throughout this awakening process. I'm not the same person I was back in 2018, 2019, and I'm certainly not the same person I was a month ago or even like a week ago. And so I'm ready to do things differently from now on for the channel. And I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I'm excited to share some new courses that I'm going to be offering in group settings. So if you're interested in that, when those are all ready to be posted on the webpage, there will be links included throughout the description boxes, as well as I will make posts on the community tab. So check it out. I do feel my purpose going forward is to bring forward the most accurate information and teachings that will not only fully support you to ascend, but will also help fully support your mission and helping others on their ascension journey. And so this is a really important full moon for me. It's been a long time coming for me when it comes to understanding patterns and cycles and healing ancestral karma. So if you've been feeling stuck, I think this is a pivot point on the entire collective journey. And so we're at a significant moment, I think. If you look back to like the pandemic too, and that was what, and I think was that early 2020, there was so much upheaval with society. There was so much opposition with family, vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. And there was so much duality. And I do feel that was the beginning of the triggering of this great awakening. And so I was talking to a divine feminine in the UK that unfortunately I was not able to meet with in person on my travels. But she had a good point that she brought forward, and I'm thinking like this is like the splitting, right, of understanding duality and cognitive dissonance and holding these two deeply rooted beliefs about society, about all of life itself. And when we go through this awakening, we are completely uprooted from our belief system. And so we are entering into a brand new era. We are entering into the age of Aquarius, and everything is going to change. Pluto is back at that analytical 0-degree mark, and everything is going to change. This is applying all of this pressure so we can have long-term goals. Set a goal for yourself. What goal did you set for yourself 15 years ago? I know for me, my goal was to be a mother and to be a wife, and I wanted a family. And well, that goal didn't quite pan out the way I hoped it had, right? It didn't. And so I am a mother. I'm a single mother, and maybe marriage isn't for me, but I do know that throughout this processing, I've chosen to commit to myself. And I've recognized the patterns, and I've understood why I've chased love rather than just embodied the frequency of love, right? And so there really was nothing really lacking within me. And so another thing I've learned too recently, 11/11 I noticed, was the things that I ask the most for from people is what I was never given in relationship. And I require authenticity. I require transparency. And I was never really given that in any of my relationships. And so the more I step into my authentic essence, I know the more I'm ready to really commit to what really matters. So what really matters to you? Because I think we have to feel into our potential. We have to break historical patterns. We have to break collective patterns. And this is the time to do that. But we all have to choose to commit to the path ourselves. And so what is it that you want to make a commitment to? What truly matters to you? What truly matters? I think this is not like a little itty bitty decision. This is like a massive decision to leave an old mindset behind, to leave a pattern behind. It's a very important commitment. What do you want to commit to? Because right now we are being asked to embrace significant changes in our lives. And I think there's nothing more important than making that commitment in this lifetime to yourself. We can't commit to a partnership with another fully, wholeheartedly, 100% in until we've committed to ourselves. And that takes great effort. And so this commitment that is being illuminated this full moon is going to shape the rest of your life probably, or the next 15 to 20 years as Pluto transitions through Aquarius. Do you want to keep repeating the same lessons, or do you want to expand? And do you want to cross that threshold into maybe committing to a new career, or starting a business, or a new project, or a creative endeavor? Maybe it's a commitment to a partnership with another person. What kind of legacy do you want to leave your children and the future generations? Because look at the state of the world. We're in a state of massive opposition, and we can't keep being that fighter, right? I know I'm tired of being the fighter. I'm tired of being the strong one all the time. And I will tell you, Taurus has a stubbornness about them, though, where we will overcome all of the odds over and over again. Nothing will keep a Taurus down. Me personally, anyway. We all have the ability to persevere through tower moments, whether that be a job loss, a career loss, a relationship loss. I know there's been a lot of money towers coming through collectively when it comes to certain circumstances that need to be tempered. When it comes to opposition that is based in old earth energy, the Pluto and Capricorn energy. So we're moving from earth to air. And so we have to have integrity through the process. And actually integrity, I wanted to talk about integrity. That's what really stood out to me about visiting the Museum of Freemasonry. And so actually Freemasonry is like one of the oldest social and charitable organizations in the entire world. I think they get a bad rap. I think they do. And so the organization of Freemasonry began back in 1717. And so people from all backgrounds can join Freemasonry, women and men included. And if we think of the 4 guiding principles of Masonry, and they use these principles to help define their path through life, it is integrity, it is friendship, it is respect, and it is charity. And so it's about empowering individuals to live their best life and helping others all at the same time. And so right now I feel there's a major psychic attunement happening that will guarantee success if you take proper action towards what it is you are being guided and led to go towards. Sorry, I'm getting passionate there, but we all have a psychic gift of knowing when and how to take flight. And so I actually had my flight completely canceled trying to come home, and that was very stressful, and I allowed all of those triggering emotions to boil to the surface. It was upsetting because I just wanted to get home to my kids, and thankfully I arrived home safe and sound with minimal with minimal damage. But I just feel we have to know when to take flight, when to take a seat. And so we have to have a drive too to fight for what it is that is right. And so politeness, we cannot be polite to our detriment. To be kind is different than to be polite. And so we do have to have a voice. We can't accept everything that is happening in society as normal. And so right now, I think we need to be discreet. I think we need to really understand where to use our energy reserves this weekend and to really hone in on your intuitive awareness to make a decision. So be discreet with that decision. Not everybody needs to know your next move. And so when we are over polite, this serves as superficial. We cannot be superficial. The age of Aquarius is demanding authenticity. It is the water bearer energy. And so if you're feeling defeated, there is a purpose, right? Because maybe you're obviously surrounded by superficiality. And so everything in life will serve as a mirror. So if you are surrounded by superficiality, maybe you need to take a step back and discern. The energy to be over polite really takes more than just being authentic. And so we're in times of struggle, I feel, because the masks are being shown when it comes to certain alliances and groups of friends and people that we're connected with. And so friendships that can no longer be sustained through this higher energy integration, they are going to be forced out of our energy field, right? And so I feel the Plutonian energies, this full moon, are forcing what needs to break down so we can restore and persevere and we can regain our sense of vitality again. And so the energy is asking you to integrate, really understand where you're connected to selfish alliances, people that might be a little bit selfish, that sap energy from people. And it's not personal, right? It's never personal. Everything really just truly is spiritual. And so when we selfishly use others in times of struggle, karmic repercussions will always come back around. And so it's like the energy of analysis. It's the energy of investigation is what I heard, investigation. So you might be feeling like you have to play the detective. If you're in a relationship and you have to play detective, there's probably something that you don't need to hear. Sometimes we don't need to see it all, but I just feel when we play detective, you've kind of already accepted that you're in a state or a relationship with somebody in joint opposition, right? And so if you don't have a relationship fully based on trust, then I think the energy is here asking you to recognize that as well. We have to value time. Time also is connected to pentacles and time and money. We can make more money, but we can't get time back. And so we need to value our time. And so I do feel these energies at 29 degrees are bringing in aggressiveness, opposition, and prejudices to the surface in order to investigate limitations. There's something here about trustworthiness that needs to be addressed, however that pertains to you. But if you're dealing with somebody that likes to provoke adrenaline rushes, that likes to provoke aggressiveness just to get their way, be mindful of that because I do think that's possible in the energies this weekend. And then I know a lot of us on the journey, I feel, are in a stage of deep alienation. And so I feel like it's time for me to go into a state of like total isolation, alienation this weekend. Really is about the concentration of the family, and that's really where my energy is going to be. I've been on this fight, I feel like alone, or this battlefield alone for many years. I've been flying solo, stubbornly fighting the good fight alone for many years now. And it's been almost like a very painful confinement. And I just feel right now there's a lot of possibilities coming forward, right? We can't stay bound to a painful confinement. That's what this trip kind of also showed me. But we also need to recognize when it's time to withdraw from certain situations. And so maybe there's going to be a misunderstanding coming up this weekend, or some type of opposition without basis. But there's this eventual like crystallization process that's going on with these higher light codes coming in. And there might be an opportunity to clear up a misunderstanding this weekend. So just understand that when you play into the opposition without basis, without true basis, you're going to keep attracting misunderstandings. So also be willing to have the stubbornness to face opposition, because when we kind of sit back and stay idle and we don't speak our truth, then we basically are giving our power away to the opposition. So recognize misunderstandings sometimes are at the root cause of a core wound. And that person pulling the trigger might not even be the one actually holding the gun. And so right now we need to accept what needs to die away in order to step into this mystical transformation. When we're in the gateway of channeling all of this struggling collective energy, I felt a lot of energy connecting from the root to the spleen to the throat. And so there's pressure being put on the collective to discover what the value of your own life is. What do you value? We all have to get to a certain point where we have to find that reason to even exist. Sometimes we have to question our entire existence on the journey to find our purpose. So find something that you love. Find something that elevates you, that you love, to get beyond the struggle of simply just surviving. We're here to thrive. We're not here to simply just survive. And so when we back up this energy to oppose all of these limitations, and we understand that we are capable of confronting adversity, then we can actually enjoy a good fight, right? And so I do like a good fight, which gets me in some toxic situations. But I feel right now we need to stand up for ourselves. And that doesn't mean that it's a fight, right? But we do have to stand up and fight for what's right. And we do have to choose up to stand up for those that maybe aren't capable of standing up for themselves. And the only way to make global change is to do this individually, or even at a smaller community level. And so the energy is asking you to find your fierce independence, to share your experiences that you've gone through on the awakening journey. In truth, we're all just seeking a reason for living. And when we have a purpose and a reason for living, we are able to meet challenges, right? To face everything head on too. And it's been a challenge for me too. I had a good cry too a couple of nights ago. And it's like, at what point do I have somebody to maybe hold my hand through the struggle? It's difficult to go through some very painful moments in life, and sometimes it's nice to have somebody by your side. But I do feel the energy is empowering us to persevere, to discern for ourselves what is our truth and what is false, what is falsified for us. And so you have to know what is worth fighting for. Otherwise, you're going to keep wasting precious energy engaging in battles with people maybe that aren't meant for you. You know, there are some things worth fighting for and some things that just need to be walked away from. So bring that into your intuitive awareness. Right now, I think we're being asked to preserve our personal integrity and to walk away from opposing forces that compromise those values. I just want to share a quick message. I was chatting right before I was recording video with a Divine Feminine, and she said a couple things in our chats back and forth that really stood out, that I just feel I got to give credit to her. The triggers to the safes are the combination locks. And so if you're being triggered right now, really look at what that trigger represents at the core. And then she also said the wrong help is like putting diesel into a gas engine. And so you can't force things. If you're trying to force something, take a step back and really discern that mirror why. Why are you trying to force something? Because when we are in a state of force, we are not in a state of flow. And so the collective is really showing who is only in it for themselves, who only has their own best interest at heart, because we're here for our humanitarian mission. It's so much bigger than just us. So we're going to jump in with some cards. I'm going to use some new decks. I did acquire a couple of new decks. I have the Mary Magdalene Oracle deck by Megan Watterson, and I love her. I read her book, Mary Magdalene Revealed, several times over. So if you've not read that book, I highly recommend it as a Divine Feminine. And I also scooped up the Unfolding Path Tarot deck, and I got that one in Covent Gardens. The Mary Magdalene deck I received at Glastonbury Abbey, where I had an excuse me. I had an opportunity to visit the alleged grave of King Arthur, and I was able to walk the legendary tour, and so it was a very spiritual experience. The Five of Wands wanted to make an appearance, and I apologize. There must be a throat chakra shift or something. There's a fight here. Get ready to face opposition. For sure. Get ready to face opposition. What do we got on the bottom of the deck? And this might hurt. This might be a painstakingly revelation about truth. We get the Tower below the Three of Swords, and then we get the Devil. So there is something about breaking free from a toxic situation, a pattern, making a different choice. We're going to set the tone with the Mary Magdalene Oracle deck first. Actually, no, we're just going to jump in with the tarot. I think we're going to leave that for a closing message today. So let's cut the deck. We get the Three of Swords, we get the Nine of Cups. This could be a revelation of a missed opportunity. Sometimes we got to go into the depths of the heart, which can be very painful, to go into all of the past traumas, all of the past pains. But on the other side, there's a wish being granted here. So somebody here maybe has been in a state of deep heart healing for the last 3 years. There's this opportunity, I think, to blossom, but we got to walk through it first. There's something about going through the portal gateway of tension and pain. So let's get into it. Let's do a 9-card spread. I will call out zodiac signs that I do feel need mentioning throughout the reading. So if you would like to become a channel member, though, I would like to mention that I'm making some big changes over there. Go check out the membership side of the channel. I go live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's just going to be a fun place to learn and grow all kinds of content over there. Okay, the Fool jumped out. We got a jumper. We got a jumper. And I'm hearing that song, I Wish You Would Step Out from That Ledge, my friend. So somebody here might be feeling hopeless, might be feeling lost. The Fool is like, hey, it's time to just write a new story. I do feel ascension energy with the balloon. I feel transformation. I feel something about the energy of 3 years. It's been 3 years trying to process, taking a leap of faith. Let's do 9 cards. We're going to leave that jumper aside there, and we might clarify that a little bit deeper. But we get the 10 of Wands. Somebody's been carrying a heavy load here. Somebody's been pulling something towards them that I feel doesn't want to be in that position. We got a Queen of Wands. So we do have a feminine here, I feel, that has been carrying a heavy load. Not Gemini. I was going to say Gemini. Sagittarius is what I wanted to say, and Gemini tried to come out. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Sag. I do see the Lions. That's Leo. We get the 10 of Pentacles. So 10s are completion. 10s are endings. We got a Queen of Wands here that's carrying a heavy load when it comes to a situation, a long time situation here, whether it's a family, whether it's a marriage, maybe it's a common law partnership. It's been carrying a heavy load here, and I think something is over. We get the Hierophant when it comes to a commitment. We get the Lovers is the dead central energy. There's that Gemini. I felt the Gemini. So Gemini, Sag, definitely there in opposition. And we get the Devil. So there's something here toxic. So the 10 of Pentacles is actually the final key in the tarot. The 10 of Pentacles is key 78. 78 breaks down to 15, which further breaks down to 6. And so somebody here has a big, big decision to make connected to a long time legacy, a long time family structure. And so maybe somebody's tempted by another lover here. There's divinely guided change here. There is a divinely guided opportunity to make another choice. Do you want to choose love, or do you want to choose money? Maybe somebody chose money over love in the past. This Queen of Wands could have chose money over love. Doesn't have to be a feminine, but a feminine is depicted on the card. I feel almost like a karmic energy here. a darker karmic energy here. And I feel somebody has tried to carry the weight of the entire relationship, maybe the weight of the financial security. And I feel there's somebody being afforded an opportunity for a different choice. Let's get the final row out. And I don't think this choice is going to be easy, but it's a necessary evil. The Tower comes to break apart something false. It comes to break apart an illusion. It comes to break apart an old belief. And it's a necessary evil for heart healing. And so we get the Tower. We get the Three of Swords. And we get the Chariot. Could be dealing with a Cancer. This Cancer season, it's time to take charge of your life. Somebody here has the eye of the tiger. Somebody here is seeing clearly that they have to walk through this. But it's time to break those chains when it comes to a toxic, codependent situation, maybe rooted in materialism and greed. Bottom of the deck, the King of Wands. Two people. I do feel two people here that are on the same page. Definitely, we got two people here. Maybe it's time to step into some type of leadership role. We get the Judgment. That's a big decision. So we have a true pair. We do have a true pair on the board. Definitely. But I also feel there's an unexpected choice in love here. There's a lover trying to come in as well with the Knight of Wands. So I'm not sure who this lover is. There could be a king here that is portraying himself to be a king, but really is only a knight, and maybe is trying to exit a situation. We could have a masculine here having to make a judgment call because he's connected to the Judgment card. The Judgment is under him. So we have a King of Wands here, somebody that has vision, somebody that has drive, somebody that has passion. I feel that has maybe been in a situation allowing a feminine to carry the weight of the relationship and has only been in that situation for the money. That's quite possible. Wanting to go towards a new adventure. I do feel there's going to be an unexpected departure here, and I think you kind of feel this coming. We have High Priestess coming through, and so this is the energy of, oh, somebody was tempted. She's holding the pomegranate. Somebody was tempted here. Somebody is being tempted. There's higher wisdom coming in about a new beginning in love. And so you're going to have to practice discernment at this time. Do not allow self-sabotaging behaviors to hinder your progress, because there is an opportunity to plant a seed. There is also an opportunity to maybe remove yourself from a stuck situation where it's kind of a dead end and you've put a lot of time and energy into it, but it's not really yielding the growth, and you need to get honest with yourself about that. I do feel there's a very challenging cycle here where somebody's really struggled to make a decision because of a core wound. And so we all have the ability to create what it is that we desire in our lives. But we also have to choose to recognize the wound and come out the other side as that wounded healer. So somebody here is a wounded healer, and they are realizing a cycle. They are completing a cycle. So we got the World. Remember, the Fool came out? And now we got the World. So somebody has completed the Fool's journey, and they're ready for the next leg of their spiritual enlightenment path. Could be dealing with the fixed signs. But there's victory here. Somebody, I feel, is accelerating along their ascension journey rapidly when it comes to leaving behind a lack mentality. And so I think there's a lack mentality being transmuted, and there's something about receiving some type of divine blessing here. So release your fears and give your fears away to the angels. I think you're closing out a major cycle, maybe a cycle about third parties, of outside opinions, creating third-party drama, and definitely a feminine here mastering a lesson connected to self-worth and self-value. So there's something being tempered here for sure. There is a new beginning. So follow your creative drive, follow your creative hunches, and trust that there is a fair and just decision that will be made in these full moon energies, maybe by the next new moon. I feel by Leo season, there's going to be a shift. And so let's close it out with a Mary Magdalene Oracle message. The Cave of Eggs. We exist in and with each other. None of us are separate. And true love. True love all exists through love. And so true love really begins with true love of self, right? So let's get into it, guys. And let's get one closing message from the Mary Magdalene Oracle deck. What do we need to know? What advice, what message does the collective need from the Mary Magdalene Energy Oracle deck? All right, let's see what we got. The red thread. The red thread. So actually, I believe this came through on the membership side yesterday, the red thread. And so there's like this woven thread between lovers, between soulmates, where we recognize the good in each other, right? Good recognizes good, and we are all inherently good, right? We are all born innocent. We are all inherently good. And so you are a beloved of God, of the universe. And so the body will never lie to you. What is your body trying to tell you about a situation? Your body will never lie to you. Okay? The legacy, love is always legendary. I call myself back from all times and all places, presence. I exist intensely. Let's close this reading off with reading into this with the book. It's a new book, so I haven't read the book, but let's read the card presence. Scholars believe that Christ spoke Aramaic among other languages, and the Aramaic word for death translates as existing elsewhere. This translation implies that when the body ceases to function, the essence of who we are, the heart, the essence of who we are, this presence of love within us, still exists, just mysteriously somewhere else. Death, then, is not an end, but an irrevocable transition, a transformation from being present in the body, behind our eyes, to being present in a place that's ultimately unknowable to the living. So the translation of death also allows us to understand the way that the egoic self can cause a form of death by forcing us to exist elsewhere at different points throughout our lifetime. I'll never forget that moment of my heart getting ripped out of my chest, and it took me months to bring myself back into my body after the shock of that loss. And grief changes people. Grief definitely changes people. And so Mary found strength in the 7 powers. Mary Magdalene talks about the 7 powers in her gospel. And I am definitely planning on doing a Divine Feminine course based on these 7 powers that Mary Magdalene wrote about in her gospel. And so what are you clinging to? What are you casting out when it comes to not being willing to step into the future? What are you longing for? What are you longing for? And so when we exist in the past, we are in a state of pain because we are in a state of looking back, and we are depressed. We're longing for what once was that will never come back because it's not in the present, right? It's gone. It's in the past. Can't get it back. And when we're worrying about the future or clinging to, you know, what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, we really lose the joy in the present moment, right? And so we got to reach that point where we know exactly what we want. We got to commit to it, and we got to be present in that commitment every single day. So the 7 powers of the ego really take us away from the present moment. The ego is always seeking to keep your wheels a spinning, right? And so the only real change that we can choose to create in our lives is when we have the courage to be present with love right here in the moment with everything that we have in our lives, and be grateful for that. That is when we kind of fully come back to life, right? And so what do you need to do to be present again? To ferociously be present and understand that all life is precious, and you can't get back time. You cannot get back wasted time. And so we got to wake up again and again and again and again until we reach that 0 point of enlightenment. There is a major cycle closing out. So what is it that you can release this full moon to exist intensely in the present moment? Good recognizes good. So that's what I have. Call back yourself from all times and all places and be present in the moment this weekend. I really hope this helped, guys. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, check out the description box below. There will be video card links above as well. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.